Good morning and happy Monday to you. My name is LaShonda Brown. I am a tech educator, YouTube coach, and speaker based in the beautiful Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia. And welcome to our Data Girly Report. So I had the opportunity to look back and see how things went this month. And I'm just going to be honest with you. We're going to talk about the wins, the losses, the mediocre. And I think this information is super helpful because it gives you a more comprehensive look at what I'm doing. Not everyone is operating their business where YouTube is their primary focus. And so I think if you're interested in YouTube, it's important that you understand the whole picture and not just the highlight reel. So this live stream gives me that opportunity to do that. And I'm going to share the data. I'm going to share the numbers of what was working, what wasn't, and what my findings are. And one of the things that came up in a podcast that I guested on this month was just the idea of experimentation and really looking at your business like everything is negotiable. Everything can come and everything can go. And I think sometimes in entrepreneurship, we hold too tightly to our big ideas when they don't work. And so what's super important to do is that you take out time, I do it on a monthly basis, to take a look back and just be honest with yourself. Did you get that return on investment? Did things work out like you planned? Did you learn some things along the way? Because if you can implement some of the things that you've been learning in the months to come, your business will continue to grow. But if you keep doing the same thing, expecting different results, you're going to find yourself falling further and further behind. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of walk you through how I address this in my business. If you are watching live, I encourage you to ask questions in the comments. If you're watching this in the replay, I will circle back and take a look at the comments and respond to them there. So if you have questions, I do want to make sure that I help you out and give you more of my perspective on some of these matters so that I can help you. So that's the game plan for today. We're going to keep it pretty dang simple. Now, I say certain things on every live stream, so I'll do a little bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, if you like this video, make sure you like it. We'll talk about this more when I do a deep dive, but it's so helpful when you guys see that. So as you come on the live stream, if you like this approach, if you like the content, simply engage by hitting that thumbs up, and that helps a lot. I also want to remind you that the code live on YouTube stays active in the shop. So as I address things in the shop that you're interested in, you can use that code to get 15% off your purchase at shoplashandabrown.com. All right, so those are the basics. What I did was I created like a little slide deck. We did this last month and I found this to be super helpful to help direct the conversation. So I have a few slides there and I also have a few pop-up banners that we will address. So I really want to start by highlighting my members, okay? My members are absolutely incredible. And I was able to see this on full display at the workshop this month that we hosted with Jess Ekstrom. Jess speaks to groups all the time. And I could tell by the way she lit up on camera, by the things she was saying to me in the private chat, that she had not been in a membership experience that was so engaging before. And I know every group is different. And so I'm obviously biased to my group, but I will tell you that I am seeing more and more community build within the Bootstrap creators and the Bootstrap Star students. So what happens every month is the workshops that I host, both of those communities come together. Star Students is my subscription for my monthly workshops. And so these are more advanced workshops for coaches, consultants, educators who really want a deep dive on a topic. So this is not surface level stuff. We're trying to give more advanced information for those educators who don't have a ton of time but want more information on a topic. So this month's topic was all about making more money with your speaking engagements. And so Jess took us behind the scenes and she shared so many things that she has learned through her speaker journey by being a paid speaker. So that's what the Star students are subscribed to. My Bootstrap creators are service providers who want to leverage YouTube and tech to essentially create a passive income engine. These are folks who are burnt out on that constant rat race of posting daily on social media. And so they are looking for a more passive way to grow. And so I utilize YouTube. That's what I know the most. And so that is what I teach within that community. So those two worlds come together for the workshop. And so it is so much fun to see them engaging in the chat, cheering each other on. We do like a monthly giveaway. And it was just awesome to see everyone celebrating each other within the comments. Now, one thing that I did in April is I ran a birthday special. For those of you who don't know, I turned 34 in April. And so I thought, okay, well, I will make the special $34. Keep it simple. I did a poll on Instagram to say, hey, do you guys think I should even run a promotion? And people were like, oh yeah, you should totally do it. And so this is what I decided to do. But I will emphasize this point. I only ran the special to my email list. I did not do any crazy promotion on social media, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, in my community tab on YouTube. I specifically marketed to my list. And so what I want to do is go ahead and pull up the 2 emails that I sent to the list, because I think that's going to help you guys really understand how things work for my business. So there were 2 emails that were sent, one to let them know what the special was, and one to let them know, hey, I just want to make sure you knew about it. Last call, essentially. All right. So this actual format, you guys can get in my Buy Me a Coffee page. So what happened maybe about a month ago is Flowdesk released the ability to turn your emails into templates, and they encourage people to actually sell them. So what I did is I spent a lot of time going into the back end of Flowdesk, analyzing other newsletters, and developing my own custom template for my Flowdesk emails. So moving forward, I'm utilizing my own template, not just pulling one from the templates they have available. So if you want to get this template, you can actually hop over to lashondabrown.com/coffee, which will take you to my Buy Me a Coffee page. You can also scan my QR code and it'll take you there too. But this is essentially what I sent them. So I gave a little bit of an explanation at the top of the email. I put testimonials from 5 of the Bootstrap creators, and I included a photo of 2 members, Lex Roman and Alan Paul, and I just had a simple button, okay? I had 2 buttons in this email, one that said, join my membership, and one that just said learn more. Okay. Now I sent this email on a Friday. I don't typically work on Fridays, so I scheduled the email. And so I thought to myself, like, well, it's possible that people may not see this. So let me send one more so that those who missed the original email find out about it. And so that was this email. Every Monday morning, I schedule an email at 6:30 that I send to my list so that they know what the topic's going to be on the live stream. And I include maybe 1 or 2 other announcements. So this was the email that I sent after my birthday saying, hey, I know some of you don't check your email on the weekend. I want to make sure you know about this. And essentially did the same thing, shared a little bit about Bootstrap creators. I took out the testimonial, so I made it shorter. And again, just said, become a Bootstrap creator for the birthday rate of $34 a month. Okay. That was the promotion. So what I want you to understand is that it was extremely effective. And if I go back, I was able to see 10 people off of my list became Bootstrap creators because of that promotion. 4 days, very little promotion, 2 emails, not even like a super hard sell. Just a picture, a button, testimonials on the first one, and then essentially a reminder. That was it. So this should encourage you that if you are discouraged by what's happening on social media, no matter what platform you're on, whether it's the impending ban, or I guess technically it's already been banned or whatever, of TikTok, or the low engagement on Instagram, or maybe just a small audience on LinkedIn, your email list is so important. I utilize Flowdesk for my emails because I'm very much a photo heavy kind of person. And so I like to have a lot of imagery. And so I think that Flowdesk does a very good job of making beautiful emails. And so that's why I stick with them. And so having that list, having an engaged list allowed me to just send a quick email, come up with a special, go inside, buy me a coffee, and for that weekend, knock it down to $34 and then celebrate my birthday. I think a lot of people, they talk about, launch culture, and it just feels so heavy, right? When you think about somebody in launch mode, it just feels like they are dying a little inside to just infuse some cash into their business. And it doesn't have to operate like that. And in looking at my business, I am becoming more and more militant with my time. I only have 20 hours. When I push myself beyond those 20 hours, I start to see my body literally decay. Like I feel like the city miles on my body. And so it's so important that rest is factored in, that time to learn from other people, to participate in different disciplines, like going to see a show, going on a hike, hosting a dinner, like all these things really help you to be a more well-rounded person. And so it's really important to me that I look at my systems and say, what's actually working? Do I need to create all of this content, this branding and these tripwires and all these things to run a promotion? Or can I simply send a message? Can I send a message to my engaged community? Although it's not huge, it's very engaged. Can I send them a message and just say, hey, it's my birthday? And I will tell you, I think it was maybe either last year or the year before. I can't remember. Time is crazy these days, post-COVID. But I remember just saying, hey, if you would be willing to buy me a coffee for my birthday, that would be amazing. And I think sometimes we shortchange ourselves and we think, I don't want to ask for anything for my birthday, so a cup of coffee sounds great. Sometimes for your birthday or for milestones in your business, you simply need to make something available at a reduced rate for a short amount of time and just see how people respond. Do not put expectations on it. I did not hard sell because I was born today, sign up for my membership. No. I simply said, for this short amount of time, you can come in $34. That would be a blessing to expand the community. And people did. And so at this point, we have over 70 members combined between Star Students and Bootstrap creators. So as we prepare to migrate to the app in May, these are the folks that will be transitioning from Buy Me a Coffee to the application. And again, that same mindset of I don't have to push, I don't have to force it. I'm giving myself time to let the community use the web application first before we push out the mobile application in the App Store and the Play Store. Then I will start drawing attention to myself. And so I think we need to understand that it's really effective to do things in phases in your business because there are so many things that you're not going to see coming. And you really need a trusting, loyal community to point out some of those things and say, hey, LaShonda, like this button isn't working, or hey, LaShonda, I don't understand this. Could you make a tutorial for that? And so I am so grateful for this group of people because they have helped to cultivate what you're seeing being pushed out. Every little detail, every little thing is a result of a conversation, an email, or feedback. And so I am so grateful for their help. And so every month when we do our workshops and when we do our group coaching calls, I'm asking them, how do you feel about this? What do you think about that? Because I understand that the more that they feel involved in the process, the better it's going to be. So community was my word of the year. I'm really trying to double down on that. And I have seen our business continue to grow as I include our community in the decisions that we make. Now for my data girlies, here's some numbers that I want you to be aware of, okay? So what I did is I first of all started with social reach, okay? When you are a content creator, there will be brands that really care about the vanity metrics and they look at the size of your audience as an indication for how well a campaign will do or how well it will convert, okay? Now, what you see publicly does not reflect what's happening behind the scenes, because I will tell you, my audience is small but mighty. And so when it comes to conversions, you guys click on my links, you support me, but some people care about the public numbers. So publicly, my social reach increased from 44.2K, which is 4,200 followers across platforms, to over 45,000. So it's continuing to grow. What I love about that is your girl is not pressed. I am not doing anything super intensive to grow my audience. I'm just showing up within my capacity and delivering value. So that's super helpful. Now, I will say on the Instagram front, what I did do was boost my Canva post. And I will tell you, what I'm noticing with boosting is over time, whether it's just the way the audience engages with it or the algorithm engages with it, you will start to see a decline, and you will have to pay more to reach the same amount of people that you reached in the prior month. So just a quick reminder, my Canva 45-day trial link will expire tomorrow, and it will switch to only 30 days, which is still great. I love the idea that I can give you guys a month free of Canva Pro. But if you want to sign up and get 45 days instead of 30, you'll need to do that today or tomorrow. So the post that I'm boosting has the Canva 45 code in it. And so I'm just trying to get the last few bit of people to sign up for that 45-day trial. But once May starts, that's not going to be applicable anymore. And it would be to my benefit to post something new about Canva. So that's just something to keep in mind if you plan on boosting content, is that just continuing to put money behind the same piece of content might not continue to convert the way that it used to. Okay, when it comes to LinkedIn, I posted high quality photos like this one and showed up with a meaty caption and mentioned people in the post daily. Okay, now daily content, I'll be honest with you, daily content on any other platform would be totally beyond my reach. Like, that would just be too much. That'd be too complicated. I'm not here for it. On LinkedIn, however, when you do brand shoots and you have multiple poses, multiple photos from the same shoot, it isn't hard for you to pull, 3 to 5 images from that shoot and create captions that make sense based on the images that you use. So say, for instance, this particular photo, I talked about brand partners because Groove's logo is on the tote bag. That's actually a double-sided tote bag. So the same bag was used in a different photo, and it said, I take vacations on it. And I used that for a post where I talked about the joy of missing out, JOMO, okay? So I have found that using LinkedIn as my main community platform has been super beneficial. Instagram, it's not my primary community platform anymore. And I think the main reason why I'm seeing that is because people don't enjoy Instagram like they used to. So it's not necessarily an algorithm thing. Like, they simply are not using the app. People are taking detoxes. They're getting prepared for summer. A lot of people will go on sabbatical from Instagram over the summer, whether it be a couple weeks, a month, multiple months. And so I just feel like relying on Instagram as my way to engage with my community is not a good long-term plan. And so what I will tell you is that if you're going to lean into YouTube, you still need to have a community-based platform where you can essentially communicate with people in the DMs. The money on social is made in the DMs. So if you don't have the ability to message and have a conversation with your followers, you still need to add that into your ecosystem. LinkedIn has direct messaging. Instagram has direct messaging. But I have found that I'm reaching more of my target market on LinkedIn than Instagram, and with less time and effort. So, home run on that front. So that is what I'm finding with that. Now, I will say this, email list. My email list didn't grow in April. I gained people, I lost people, and so at the end of the day, it stayed the same. And I definitely want to do something about that in the months to come, because when I get on these workshops and I ask people, how did you find out about this workshop? 60% on average say Your emails. I found out because of your emails. And so, as fun as it is to watch your metrics go up on LinkedIn, on YouTube, the reality is it's my email list that is driving so much of my sales, so much of my conversions. The birthday special proved that to be true as well. And so, I definitely need to double down on growing my email list. And so, I'm going to do some work behind the scenes to try to think about what does that look like? How can I do that better? But I definitely feel like email list needs some more love. And I didn't do that so much in April. And so this summer, the email list will be getting some more love. So I will encourage you with the same thing. Most of us need to focus on our lists, especially those who have grown a following on TikTok. You need to be telling people on that platform to join your list. We have no idea what's actually going to happen. There's so much talk back and forth about how it's going to work out over the next 12 months. And so the best thing that you can do is to use your TikTok content to drive people to your website, to your list that you own. So I think all of us should be focusing on this, but me specifically, I will definitely be working on that as well. All right. Partnerships, and I'll make this a little bit bigger. So partnerships, I did a sponsored live stream with Voice Jungle. I did a sponsored reel with Simple Texting, and Uscreen also sponsored a video that you guys will see very, very soon. So I'm really grateful for my brand partners. I have been finding that the more that I engage on LinkedIn, the easier it is to find new partners. And so that's another thing to communicate. The tech people, they're on LinkedIn. That's just where they hang out. I'm going to be honest with you. So if you are trying to get more interest from tech brands, I would encourage you to engage more on LinkedIn. And in regards to community, we had our monthly workshop with Jess Ekstrom. We had our group coaching call, and we did the Content That Converts workshop. Now, here's the deal with the workshop. My free workshop audience is not my normal audience. And I'm gonna be real with you. I had like a slightly cringy moment with my free workshop audience this month. I hosted the workshop on a Saturday. I did that to try to attract more people, engage them on the weekend because a lot of people work. And I tried to use Aha Slides with them. Aha Slides is my favorite tool right now for engaging people on these live calls. My STAR students, my Bootstrap creators, they are used to this tool. Free workshop people who are brand new to my ecosystem, they were not. And when I tell you the confusion and the low engagement was really telling, and it was a really good opportunity for me to take a step back and say, okay, just because you love this tool doesn't mean you need to use it for every single call that you do, because there is a learning curve. Some people hop on these calls on their cell phone. So scanning a QR code or engaging in another tab while keeping the tab open of the workshop, like, people need to know that's going to happen to them ahead of time, basically. And so I realized that if I'm going to use free workshops as a way to grow my list and reach new people, I cannot structure those calls in the same way that I do with my paying members. I need to take more of a webinar approach than a community building approach. And I realized that this month. And I didn't bomb it. Let me just say that. I did not bomb the call. However, it did not feel aligned. And I felt it. Like, I just felt like, oh, I'm not talking to these people in the right way. My messages aren't resonating with them in the same way. And so I took a step back and I'm like, what was different? Like, I was the same. My setup was the same. The tool was the same. Like, why didn't this hit like some of my other calls? And I realized, even though some of my members did hop on the call and they engaged, the people who did not were brand new. And so I think that's important. I think it's important for you to remember that every audience isn't the same. even on YouTube, and this is super important to communicate. The YouTube Shorts community is not the same as the feed video community, and it's not the same as the live stream community. Those of you who show up, those of you who put this on your calendar and say, I'm going to start my week with LaShonda, I'm so grateful for you, but you're not the same audience that's going to watch my shorts. You're not the same audience who's going to sit through, a 20-minute YouTube video. It's totally different. And so I think I didn't realize that different audiences aren't just for social content, it's for educational opportunities if you teach often enough. When I go and I guest expert in a membership community, when I host a free workshop, when I host a group coaching call, those are all different people. And so I think grounding myself before the call to say, okay, who am I talking to? Not just what am I teaching, but who am I teaching? And then starting the call versus, oh, well, here's the rhythms I established and here's what I like and here's what's fun for me. And so that was such a good takeaway from this month is like, okay, different audience, different strokes for different folks. I got it. I can do that. So I'm just putting that out there that if you find yourself not hitting a home run every time you show up online, it could be your messaging is great, but it hasn't been catered to the audience properly. So that was a takeaway I had there. So I'm going to start sharing my wins. If you have questions, go ahead and start dropping them in the chat now so I can go ahead and head over there after I share my wins. All right. So April wins. If you have not watched this live stream, I would encourage you, go back and watch the live stream with Bob Bird. When I tell you, I have watched this multiple times, and it's not because of me. It's because the man was dropping gems left and right. And it was so apparent that I'm like, he's done this for years. I mean, he is a brilliant speaker. The Go-Giver is a super helpful book. And I am super grateful that he accepted my request. But here's the deal. That happened because of LinkedIn. I messaged him in a direct message on LinkedIn that led to an email conversation with him and his assistant, and we scheduled a time for him to come on and speak. And so I think having a regular place to show up allowed me to just plug and play him into my content calendar. And then I actually pitched it to Voice Jungle. I said, hey, I know we had a plan for the live stream you would sponsor, but this happened. And I think this is the live stream you should sponsor. What do you think? They went, researched Bob and said, oh my gosh, perfect fit, let's do it. And that's how those things came together. And so that sponsored live stream was a perfect example of me taking a great opportunity and pairing it with a great brand so everybody won. So that was amazing. Obviously, I had my birthday, so that was a win. Super grateful for another year. I actually changed my plans at the last minute. I decided that I did not want to drive to DC, that I didn't want to be bad and bougie. I just wanted a slow Saturday. And that's what I got. And it was great. Went to 2 different markets, went to the farmer's market in the morning, went to a vendor fair for makers in the afternoon, went for a walk by the river and just got some sunlight and just, I was at peace, y'all. I was at peace. And later that night, I went to one of my favorite local seafood restaurants and that was great. And so even when it comes to birthdays, I don't know if you're guilty of this. I've done it where I'm not just thinking about what I want to do. I'm thinking about, oh, the person I am today is planning the birthday for the person a week from today. We don't know what the future is going to look like. It sounded great at the time for me to go to DC and just have a great time. But by the time I got to that Saturday, I was like, girl, I just want some rest. I want some peace. I want some quiet. I want something slow like that. That makes me feel good. That's the type of birthday that I want this year. I don't care if it's Insta friendly. I'm not living for the gram. I'm living for God and I'm trying to live my best life, And so what I wanted was chill. And so being willing to say, okay, even though I had a plan, I can still go. I can still do that, but not this weekend. This weekend, just want to be calm and collected. And it was great. So I'm glad that I gave myself that bandwidth to change things up because honestly, that was the best way to serve myself in that moment. And it turned out great. The last thing is I put on my corporate film producer hat, and it's so funny how it worked out. I ended up essentially hosting an event to film content and take photos for two of my friends who are keynote speakers. And to be able to just hold the camera and create, for those of you who don't know, years ago, I had a stock photo brand. I took African American stock photos. They've been used all over the world. I'm still one of the top creators on Unsplash, even though I haven't posted in years. And I love photography because it gives me the opportunity to have conversations with people. Typically, I just do like little sessions with one or two people. But when it comes to events, I get to capture that live event in such a way that people can continue to find joy in it days and weeks to come after it. I really love that. I overshoot. I truly do. And I go back, I call it all, and then I go, oh my gosh, look at that. Look at how great it looks. Like, I remember when we had that moment. I remember when that group got together. I remember when I saw that, that pair in the corner talking and how captivating that looked. Oh, I'm so glad I captured that. And so it was just so nice to get away from my screen, to leave the house, to engage with local business owners, and just create. So that was a win. That was a win. And I won't get to do that every month. My schedule is super packed, but I'm super grateful that I got to do that in April. And so those are kind of my takeaways, guys. I learned that my free workshop audience is not my normal audience, that Instagram should not be my primary community platform, that I need to give my email list some more love, that boosting the same Canva post on Instagram will decline over time, so I can't rely on that. That if I post high quality photos with a media caption on LinkedIn and mention folks in the post, it performs well. And asking for engagement in these live streams has really helped. So again, if you liked this live stream, make sure that you like it. All right. So what I'm going to do now is head over to the comments. Again, if you're watching live and you have any questions about things that happened in April, things that you're wanting to try in May, go ahead and ask me now. I really want to use these live streams as a way to help the community, give you kind of behind the scenes on what's going on. I also will tell you, if you have not made a Flowdesk template of like your favorite emails, even if you use it as a lead magnet, Flowdesk templates are hot right now. So I would encourage you to go do that. I love the one that I created because I did some really cool things on the back end of Flowdesk to make that happen. But you are welcome to use that strategy for yourself as well. All right. So let's see here. Interesting insights about AHA slides. Yes, Amber. I love AHA slides. We have a partner call in May to talk about partnering long-term. But let me actually pull up AHA slides because there was another thing that I realized about the platform that I wasn't utilizing that well. And this was actually a value added when I popped into Amy Porterfield's membership this month. So I should be able to share this with you guys if I pull up. So AHA Slides actually does a report as well. And so a lot of people aren't utilizing that feature. They're just using it for the live engagement. And so if you take a look at what you're able to see, so as you are interacting live, I typically will ask an open-ended question in addition to the live polling because it helps me to kind of generate ideas for future content. So I just asked them a very simple question. I said, what questions do you have right now about YouTube? This was before I hopped into my slide deck. This was literally like, in this moment, right now, what do you want to know? And if you see in the bottom right-hand corner, it says page 1 of 3. This was an audience that had never used AHA Slides, but they were ready. to utilize it and to ask questions. So they really enjoyed the process. And so again, you have to kind of know your audience. Because it was Amy Porterfield's paid community, this was a different caliber, or not necessarily caliber, but they were further along in their entrepreneurial journey than maybe some of the people who pop into my free YouTube workshops. And so they were willing to like try something new and actually really enjoyed it. And so I was able to send this report to the Momentum team and say, hey, here are some findings I learned about your audience. Here's where they were tuning in from, huge community from all over. I was able to tell them, hey, the majority of the people in your community, when it comes to YouTube, they haven't even started a channel yet. And so it was really helpful for me to understand where they were on their journey before I just started dropping information. Because if I was too advanced in what I was teaching for a community who's never even started a channel, it wouldn't have landed the same. So that was super helpful. And so I was actually able to export this report and send the report as a PDF to Amy's team. And so if you use AHA Slides within a guest expert environment, that's a value added that you can give to their community to say, hey, we did this live polling. I got these results. This may help you to create more content for your community long after I'm gone. Just wanted to pass this information along. Now, I can also use it for ideas for future social content, which is really nice. So that's something that I learned. The other thing was when I did AHA Slides on the group coaching call, and I can show you guys this as well. Let me screen share this tab. And so I will tell you that regularly polling your community has been a game changer. I don't wait for the end of the year to do a survey. Like I ask people in real time because we need to be making modifications in real time. So I asked them, where are you spending the most time on social these days? Because I was getting tired of Instagram, but at the same time, I needed to know where they were. Now, here's an interesting thing. I added the option. I'm not, LOL, I'm over social media. Okay, so this is not platform specific. This is just pulse check. Like, where are you? How are you feeling about social media? So 3 of the people who participated in the poll, now this is not comprehensive of everybody who was on the group coaching call, just the people who hopped in and actually did the polls. 3 said, they were over social media. 2 said they use LinkedIn. 4 said they use YouTube. So if you take that data, so 4 plus 3 plus 2 is 9. 9 versus 5. So there's a larger group of people who are not either, they're not into social media or they're not using Instagram that are my most highly engaged people in my community. So what that tells me is I can shift my focus away from Instagram, not completely ghost it, but I don't have to give it like prime real estate in my brain because my community, the people who pay me every month are saying, hey girl, I'm over social. I'm digging into YouTube. I'm using LinkedIn. And so then I can curate my content according to that information. Now, the other thing I have them do is I have them vote on the topics for those monthly workshops. Okay, so let me show you guys like this. So this was interesting. 5 said the 5-hour weekly YouTube strategy. So I came up with that idea for people who are super busy, don't have a lot of time to invest in their channel. Can I teach people if I only have 5 hours every week, how would I do YouTube? The second one was how to plan your YouTube content in a month for an hour, in an hour. Okay, so again, another time-based topic, but this was more about how to plan your YouTube content. The third one was not a time-based topic. Topic and title hacks for busy YouTubers. So it still had the little twinge of you're busy, but at the end of the day, what those results told me, even though people voted for the 5-hour weekly and the how to plan your content for a month and an hour, what that told me is people's time is limited. That's where the majority of people are. 11 versus 4 people are saying, I want to do YouTube, but I do not have a lot of time to invest in it. So where I need to go with my content in May is less about hacks and more about time-saving strategies. I put these topics out there as a pulse check to see how are they feeling? What the heck is going on? I feel like my time evaporates over the summer, but maybe that's just me. And so instead of saying, are you busy? Are you not? I let them choose the topic, and the topics were specifically chosen to address pain points that I thought were there, if that makes sense. So sometimes the way that you structure your survey questions are more important than necessarily what you ask them at face value, because there's strategy behind that. Let's see what else did I learn. Oh yeah, I'm considering adding some member benefits. What things are you interested in? I was baffled that people did not care about being on my live stream, being featured on the live stream. And I kept getting this pulse that like, man, people don't want to come on camera. They love just engaging in the chat on these group coaching calls. They could care less about being seen. And so at least the specific community that I have, what I'm realizing is I need opportunities that are pretty blatant on the front end that says, this is a camera on opportunity. This is a camera off opportunity, and stick to that. People know on the group coaching calls, you will not be seen unless you tell me you want to come up, and then I will add you to the stream. Otherwise, you can engage in the chat. And so that is so interesting to me because I thought, man, people may want to be seen more. They may want to leverage my following. No, what they wanted was monthly brainstorming calls. They wanted a reduced rate for one-on-one. That was the most important thing to them. They wanted to work with me one-on-one at a reduced rate as being a member. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. I can totally do that. And then a membership directory so that they could get in contact with each other. And so I am just super thrilled to have a tool and to have a process for constantly checking in and saying, I have these ideas, but what y'all really think? Like, how do you actually feel? And so I think that sometimes we can kind of run our businesses where we have an idea at face value and we think, well, just because I thought it, thus it is good. And that's not true. Again, we need to serve before we sell. We need to serve our community well. And the only way that we can do that well is to really know who they are and really know what they need. So I use AHA slides as a way to poll them, to get pulse checks. And then I always feature a giveaway at the end because I'm super grateful that they are being transparent with me and that they're sharing what they actually want. So when I launch things, I don't have to wonder, are people going to buy this? Because they've told me this is what I need. So I just think that's super helpful. Let's see here. Darlene said, good morning. Love this info. And wow, launch mode, AKA dying inside. Awesome take on this. I love the buy me a coffee ideas you have introduced to the community. Yes. So I will tell you, buy me a coffee has become like my playground. And I just started an email thread conversation with their CEO as well. And so I think that might be a future course that I create on how to use buy me a coffee as an online entrepreneur, because it's so much more than just a tip jar. It's really a great way for you to beta test things without having to invest a lot of time and money into it. So that's coming with all the things, but I hope that perspective is helpful to you. So again, these monthly Data Girly calls are for people who care about the numbers, who want to know why I'm doing what I'm doing and ask questions. Okay. So I would encourage you, if you're watching the replay, you still have questions, you can DM me on LinkedIn, on Instagram, or you can just put it in the comments on this post. Again, make sure you like this video if you liked it. And I've got some really cool things coming up. I'm actually going to be going live. I should tell you this. I'm going live on Friday. It is National Small Business Week. And so NG is sponsoring another roundtable. This will be with other women and in business who are educators to talk about their zones of genius and just celebrate entrepreneurship. So come back on Friday because your girl gonna be here. That'll be awesome. And yeah, I got a whole bunch of content up my sleeve, y'all. So stay tuned. I will also tell you we did a major overhaul of the tools page. So thank you, Angela, for doing that. I have just become the magnet for SaaS tools who who wanted to talk to you guys about what they do. And so the page was too long before. It just tool after tool after tool. So we made it more of a gallery view with all the discounts underneath. I'll show you what I mean real quick. It's actually really cool. And I've not seen anybody do it in this way before. So I love innovating. All right. So this is what the tools page looks like now. So when you go to LashondaBrown.com/tools or click on tools at the top, you're going to see the logo for the company. And if I have negotiated a discount code, it is underneath. So for AHA Slides, it's simple. It's just like a 7-day trial. Canva, 45-day trial. NG, 15% off the first 2 months. These things are constantly changing. These companies will run promotions. They will run sales. Like I know NG has a sale coming. So you'll see that in a couple days. And so it's super important that you guys go, hey, I'm looking at changing out a tool in my business. Let me go see if LaShonda has negotiated a code. I'm breaking up with Zoom. I'm switching to Butter, which is awesome. Weird name, great tool. And now I have a 30% off code. So I'm able to give you guys 30% off your first 3 months if you click on the Butter logo and go to Butter from my page first. And so this to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, why didn't we think of it sooner? But now this tool is such a resource. It's going to help your audience to save money. It's going to help you save money. And it just consolidates everything. So the page is so much shorter. You can obviously click on the logos to learn more about what it does. So I don't need to do, a little pitch for all of these tools. You can click on interact, you can get your code. You can click on ManyChat, you can get your free account. So this was huge. It took a lot of time, but thank you, Angela. It looks amazing. I'm so happy with it. So if you haven't been to the tools page recently, check it out. There's some new tools on there. And if you are a member of my Bootstrap Club, which is my email list, I did do a roundup of the codes from April that I negotiated. So there's some new stuff in there for you. Check your email if you haven't seen that already. Okay, well, I think that's it for today. I hope this was helpful. Again, I'm going to be back on Friday for the roundtable. I will be adding this to LinkedIn later today. So that's going to be my Monday post. If you didn't know, when you schedule a live stream to post to LinkedIn, it creates a LinkedIn event and it attaches it to your live stream. So what you can do is you can actually manually invite people on LinkedIn to join the event. If you do that, it allows you the ability to direct message them as attendees after the event is over. And so that's a great way for you to engage with your LinkedIn community, for you to get a pulse check on what do they need? What were their takeaways? How can you help? And so that is something that I try to do at least once a month. I don't rely on live streams on LinkedIn, but at least once a month, I will do a sponsored live stream and I will multi-stream it to both YouTube and LinkedIn. I've tried it with Instagram, not worth the effort. So LinkedIn will get an event, YouTube will get the sponsored live stream. And then what I do is I pin it to my YouTube channel as an upcoming live stream. So as people come and consume other content, then they're made aware of what's coming up. So that's the strategy. More than you need to know, I suppose, but I just want to include you to try to help. So if you want to leverage tech and YouTube to grow your business, you can always become a Bootstrap creator. If you simply want to subscribe to my monthly workshops in May, Phil Pallen is coming to talk about how to create full-time income as a part-time creator. That's going to be awesome. So I would encourage you to just head over to Buy Me a Coffee, sign up. It's either $10 or $50 a month, and I would love to have you. So as we like to say on the channel, until next time, ta-ta for now.